Burr baiting. We've got 100 grams of Harmonix rodent bait here. If we put it in the front of the hole and then just guide it down into the hole just a good distance from where they are, and then place a board over the front of the hole just to block it in, stop non-targets get in there, and just make the rat a little bit less likely to want to come out, so he's more likely to eat the bait inside. So a good reason to block over the hole is to stop the rat expelling the bait, injecting that bait back out of there, so that it becomes in the open. It could be down here, so any other non-targets can come along and pick it up. If you just cover it over, it stops them doing it quite so easily. I think if you leave them open, they are more likely to expel it, but like that hole, they're less likely to expel than they are that one. Because he's more vertical, it's harder for them to chuck it back up. If you put it down that one, they're less likely to chuck it back out. So this bait point, now we've put it here, needs checking daily at least, just to check that nothing has been expelled and nothing has happened. Obviously, if you find any dead rodents, you need to pick those up, and any spilled bait, either put it back down the hole or retrieve it and take it away. And then what you've got gone, you need to replenish that bait. So if it's gone within, say, a day and you've put 100 grams, you can double that up to 200 grams if they're still feeding. But just bear in mind, day 2 you'll have the stop feeding effect, so they will stop feeding. You just need to keep a little bit of bait there then for the younger rats to come up to. Just in hedgerow that's probably got activity in it. We've got activity down here. We've already got the perfect tunnel, this piece of tin we can lift. We know they're happy with it. We know they will use this area. So if we position that under there, it's a perfect run. They're happy with it. It's already in their environment. They saw it yesterday, they'll see it tomorrow, and they will use that and find the bait, and we get bait takes quick. Best way of getting a rat or mouse really to take bait is to try and leave everything undisturbed by putting bait in their environment in a safe covered place. If you can find stuff that's already here, if you do a lot of movement and moving bait, they then have a natural fear factor not to take on the new bait that you've put down, because you've added a new thing to their environment and changed their environment, so now they don't like it. So you'll struggle to get bait takes. And we've got a bit more natural coverage there, haven't we, to produce the tunnel we want, like that. We've got a good place. They'll come through in here and run along there. One of the areas on a livestock farm is where bales are stacked like this. If you do have a problem with rodents and rats in them, a good way is to put the 100 grams of bait, 5 sachets onto a nail, push them under the building, under the bale, and then put a piece of wood in front of it. You could take a bale down and put a bale in front of it to block the off if you're moving them, but something like that in front just to stop any access of anything is good. Like I say, the bale down and put the bale against here will work quite well as well. I'd go with 3 baiting points across this sort of area. More is good. They're obviously retrievable from being put on the nail, so you can take them back up. That is good. If you've still got bait left there after 2 days, that's handy. If it's still there untouched after sort of 5, 6, 7, 8 days, then potentially take it up. It's not going to get used. Move it to somewhere where they are using it. That's just classic rat territory, that is. This area is an overgrown area that's got trimmed down. There's broken pallets, buckets, bits and bobs leading down to the Surrey Lagoon. It will be a prime area for rats. Just 10 metres that way is a food source. They'll find liquid in between. They'll live here quite happily. So if you've got activity here, baiting along a wall and try and get that down tight so that it stays in situ, and then trying to put your board against that as much as you can, and then you've got your baiting point. Check that again tomorrow and see what's happened. Again, if it's gone, rebait it, double it up. If it's not gone, hold your nerve 4 or 5 days and then have another go. A silage pit or something against inside of here. This area all the way up here could do with being kept clear, trimmed down, sprayed off, whichever. It's just less attractive for rats to come to. Once they get here, they can't really find a home, so they move on. I think with just nettles and stuff all growing up here, they can make an undetected home, and they've made home before you know about it. But having these are just a bait station that has been made just out of a tub works okay, really. You can just open the top and kill it. Arguably the hole's been cut a bit too big, but yeah, they do work, just using things around you. Like if I was here baiting this now, this piece of that works very well, because I could put my bait on a board against there and then put this against there, and that would work. If there was activity here now, we would put this bait against here, it's fixed down, 100 grams, then we could just get this bit of old sheet in and lean that against there. Again, perfect, using something around here the rats are pretty familiar with. They'll run along there and take a feed quite quickly.